Imagine dedicating your entire life to one important mission. Failure could result in a wasted lifetime of uncompleted work. However, accomplishing the goal could result in immortality, with centuries of the world's posterity remembering your legacy. Fortunately, the latter was the principal consummation of Dr. Robert Koch. He spent nearly half a century pursuing the cure for tuberculosis, but passed away without finding a cure for the deadly disease. His failure to find a cure for tuberculosis, however, may be his only failure as a scientist. Robert Koch was born in 1943 in Clausthal, Germany, with the dense Harz Mountains in his backyard. Naturally, the young boy roamed these woods infinitely during his childhood, as the forest was peaceful to him, which helped establish his interest in science and later medicine. Robert Koch altered the course of medicine numerous times during his lifetime. He first identified the geometry of germs, that each has its own color, shape, and size. Then Koch developed a revolutionary method of growing colonies of individual germs in a dish of gelatin, known today as growing a germ culture. This allowed a wide variety of diseases to multiply quickly due to the gelatin's nutritious properties. He also explained the life cycle of spores, a bacterium's method of reproducing new colonies of itself. These scientific discoveries may seem very significant, but they are so very diminutive compared to Koch's three most important discoveries of his life. The first of Koch's most important discoveries was that of the cattle-killing anthrax bacterium. But it wasn't the discovery of the disease that drew the world's attention, but the verification of the unproven germ theory of disease. After isolating the bacterium and culturing it in his lab, he inoculated numerous cattle with the cultured bacterium and waited. Soon after, all the cattle injected with the disease were dead. This proved the germ theory of disease, stating a single identifiable microorganism is responsible for any given disease. The second of Koch's most important discoveries was that of the cause of tuberculosis. This is still considered one of the most important discoveries of all time due to the fatal and extremely painful nature of tuberculosis. It seems like the world celebrated his accomplishment that fourth week of March 1882. His final significant discovery was the discovery of cholera, a gastrointestinal disease caused by contaminated food and water. Many poverty-stricken countries worldwide suffered from cholera, but his discovery of the disease helped end much suffering. Meanwhile, Koch used his knowledge in the field of bacteriology to formulate a set of postulates that future researchers could use to identify new diseases. Called Koch's postulates, the four guidelines built the framework for modern disease identification. 1. The organism must be present in every case of the disease. 2. It must be cultivated in a pure culture. 3. It must produce the disease in an animal upon inoculation. And 4. It must produce the same disease when a healthy animal is inoculated. In 1905, Koch received his long-awaited and well-earned reward for his deeds in the scientific community, the 1905 Nobel Prize in Physiology or Medicine. Dr. Robert Koch continued his studies until his peaceful death in 1910. He is honored today with statues, buildings, and his portraits on coins. His pupils have gone on to discover even more diseases than himself, including bubonic plague, tetanus, and typhoid. His legacy is remembered today by the millions of lives he has saved in discovering multiple deadly diseases. He is remembered today as one of the greatest doctors who has ever lived, as well as a pioneer of modern medicine and the father of bacteriology.